Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the GBYWN Australia podcast. I am Aston Crude, and this is episode number 94, where I'll be doing another little watch-along of WZWA Hardcore Hell 2012, the show that came after Road to Ruin, which me and my esteemed special co-host Daniel Johnston was a part of last time. DJ, how you going, mate?
Howdy, I'm going very well. How are you?
I'm good. And by the way, everyone, just so you know out there, he's a former ICWS Tag Team Champion, Heavyweight Champion, GBYWN Australian Heavyweight Champion, and also a Hall of Famer.
That's right. That's right.
It's good, isn't it?
Yep. Long list of accomplishments, you know.
A lot of accolades.
Achievements.
You've done well.
Yes.
And we are several years into retirement from backyard wrestling now, so all we have now is to reminisce.
My triumphant return to the Saudi Arabian backyard wrestling event.
So, DJ, you will be driving the show as per usual with these watch-alongs, as per usual. I'm saying that even though this is only the second time we're doing it. Do you have anything you want to say before we get going?
When does it become usual? After 3 episodes?
Maybe.
Or?
Yeah, maybe.
Do I have any questions?
Have you thought about...
Well, you know what? As a prelude to getting into it, and I'll be quick, because I'm trying to improve my podcasting style. Let's talk about the idea that Hardcore Hell is an event in which every match has a gimmick attached to it. Some sort of stipulation. Was that idea coming from you? Was it coming from any of the other boys? Where did you sit on the idea? Like, how did you feel about it?
Well, at first,
walk us through that.
At first, Hardcore Hell was just supposed to be, there was no rules. Like, every match, there's no rules throughout the whole show.
So
basically
ECW,
ripping off, like, WZWA Uncensored.
Yeah.
And I guess ECW as well. So no matches, none of the matches had any rules. You could do whatever you want, hardcore, whatever. It wasn't until later where... some reason I thought every match needed a stipulation. I think I got myself mixed up with Circus of Pain, which was supposed to be kind of like a play on XCW's Carnival of Carnage, where every match had a stipulation announced just as the match was about to begin. So I was kind of bringing an XCW idea and putting it into WZWA with that particular event, but for Hardcore Hell, it was just strictly no rules, anything goes. And this is our first night event, by the way.
Had that extra atmosphere and stuff, you know, that sort of extra... something extra special about it with the nighttime atmosphere. I always thought nighttime backyarding events, you know, always had that aura about them.
Yeah.
Made it feel special, made it feel like you were really performing at a show. Don't know why that makes such a difference, but it does. It's this weird thing.
There's an atmosphere in the air,
yeah.
And I think I really wanted to get into the night events pretty soon after we start off to make it special, because I remember how special it felt when XCW did it, and ICWS never got to do it. So that was one of the first things I wanted to implement in WZWA. Was like, I'd like to have some night shows. Let's see how we go with that.
Show everybody that, you know, the shows are going to be a big deal. They're going to be, you know, happening. They're going to be social events. I definitely think that social element was a lot stronger in WZWA. Not that we didn't socialize a lot in ICWS. It obviously is socializing. That's what backyard wrestling is. But definitely in WZWA it was more of a party atmosphere. It was more of a, like, we're a team and let's do the show and then... we'll have a party, get pissed.
Especially during these days.
Yep, definitely.
2012, 2013, it was always a party.
I remember stretches where it was just several events in a row. There'd just be parties going on. And fuck, some of the best times came from those shows.
Definitely. It's definitely a special time. So I guess we should start watching the show.
Yeah.
So WZWA Hardcore Hell 2012 in 3, 2, 1... 0.
Space. The
right.
final frontier.
So I will full screen it later on after we get through the
Yeah, tilt
Shit.
the screen forward.
So we're starting off the show here, DJ, with Alex Stone and the debut of Access All Areas. With his first ever guest, me.
So, at this point, how much of the Elite Alliance / hero's journey of Alex Stone were you aware of? Did you have set out at the time of this segment?
What's that? I really did not understand the question then.
How much of the whole storyline between you and Alex
Had already been figured out.
Yeah, and his whole journey and story arc, and the stuff with the EA. How much of that had been figured out?
At this stage, I think this is just the first show where we're together. So what's happening here, I suppose, is we're explaining why we've joined forces, and this is the first time I name drop the words Elite Alliance. But as far as future plans are concerned, I think I had already mapped out what I was doing and had an idea of where I was going with the title. And I was pretty much set on Alex and Jacob for Resolution 1. So I knew where we're getting from here to Resolution 1, but other than that, not too much further than that. So I guess maybe 3-4 months ahead of time.
Right. And so, obviously, Alex was always good on the microphone and stuff like that. I'm assuming that this Access All Areas segment was created to give him a platform to use some of that microphone skill.
Yeah.
Was this an idea that came from him, or was it your idea?
I came up with the idea for the talk segment because Alex had great mic skills, and I wanted to utilise them in a way where we could not only, expand on the story that he and I had going, but we could also use it for other people as well, which I believe we did do eventually. But yeah, at first it was a vehicle for him to be able to cut promos and I guess get his character over.
It's really a versatile plot device because you can use it to either further, Alex's storyline or anyone else's storyline that may be completely separate from what his character is doing.
Yeah.
Or both. You could really be creative with a segment like that. I think that's why contract signings and, stuff like that are so popular in WWE on their programming.
Yeah.
So let's talk here. You've got the Michael Jackson Beat It jacket on.
Yep.
The outsider's shirt, the matching bandana. You're sort of doing a Aston Crude Wolfpack thing here. Was this was this a conscious choice as part of some sort of character development, or was this just what you happened to be sporting that evening?
I think it was just... I don't think I wore that jacket after that. I think I only wore it once, and then I had a leather jacket that I wore after that. But, nothing really behind the look. Just going with whatever I grabbed out of the cupboard that day. Look at me drinking a Coke.
Yeah.
It doesn't take long for that to change to a beer.
Blood sugar levels up.
Certainly doesn't take long for it to become a beer, that's for sure. Are you alright?
Yeah. I'm just thinking about my next question, bro. So, what I was...
I'm a bit worried that you're a bit too stoned.
No, I'm fine. So, I was noticing, the turnbuckles and the tape around the ropes, those are two things that, God love us, we never got around to finishing. I've always thought it was a real shame that we didn't quite get that done the way we wanted, because I think little details like that really make a difference. I can't help but noticing at this event and subsequent ones like it, and this is just my opinion, but sometimes I feel like the state of disrepair that the ropes and turnbuckles are in sometimes takes away from segments like this, because it just
the turnbuckles they're atrocious. The turnbuckles are atrocious. They're just pieces of styrofoam wrapped in fabric. I knew we were going to eventually improve on it one day when we fucking had the time or the money or whatever, and we did get someone to make us proper little turnbuckle, you know, the little pads that we had there later on. But yeah, like, I think the ropes have improved here from the last show, because, you know, they were only half done really the last show, so, you know, we've improved a little bit on that. I think it's red, black, and black, red, and black. But yeah, look at the turnbuckles, they're shit, fucking shit.
Absolute garbage. So, you're happy with how this segment turned out overall? You think that it was effective in setting up what you wanted it to set up?
Yeah, I think, well, I mean, we can't hear what we're saying right now, but from memory, the verbiage was pretty simple. Just to explain to everyone why we're a team, why I turned on Dan Zeppelin, you know, why I did that to him after his, you know, very not nice welcome to me for the ICWS, you know, implementing previous storylines from previous federations. So, yeah, I think that's all we really got over in this segment, and I believe we get interrupted by the team that we face later on, which is the team known then as Premium, which is Jack Wallace and Dynamo.
The future franchise.
Yeah.
And I want to touch on that since you just brought it up. There was always a lot of conflicting, I guess, perspectives regarding the continuation of storylines between ICWS and WZWA or XCW. Almost as if, you know, not everyone was in agreement as to whether the characters in these federations existed in the same universe.
Yeah.
So to speak. And I always felt like it would be fun to allow those things to carry over.
Yeah. That's my thinking too.
Yet paradoxically, I always thought it would be fun if you wanted to do a separate character in each fed. That would also be fun.
Yeah.
And we just wouldn't acknowledge the random change, because it would just be funnier that way.
I think like current ICWS along the same time as current WZWA, we wouldn't pay any attention to that, but previous stuff before WZWA had the ring, I would pay attention to that.
In what? How do you mean?
Like I wouldn't have Chaos walking out with the ICWS championship or anything like that, because it's separate at that point. But anything that happened in the past, like XCW invading ICWS and me feuding with Dan Zeppelin, I would definitely see that as something that should be implemented in the story. Or JD Flame and Mykonos were a tag team back in ICWS, so we're going to do this body spray reunion, which happened in 2015. So I pay respect to the history of ICWS through those factors, but anything that was happening during the same timeline, that doesn't count, because it's, Kyle's a heel in ICWS, but he's a good guy in WZWA. Wouldn't make sense to bring that up,
So essentially what we've got is a situation where the characters as individuals acknowledge that they went through those events in the other federation, yet at the same time there are two, basically ICWS is not recognized within WZWA shows.
Yeah.
So things like championships or title shots or statistics, they don't count in WZWA.
No.
But, Aston Crude would acknowledge that he had a lot of history with Dan Zeppelin in ICWS.
Yeah.
So we've sort of...
So the Premium cut their promo.
Premium have cut their promo there.
And Jack was very shaky on the microphone, very nervous.
And what I noticed about the two of them there, even as we were just on that last point, it seemed as though Luke and Jack were going really far out of their way to emphasize that, hey, we're sort of goofy and we're kind of we're kind of a bit nerdy and stuff, almost as if they were trying to use that to cover up for their shyness.
Yeah.
And that came through. And now what we're seeing here is a training hype video for El Papacito. And it's set to push it to the limit from the Scarface soundtrack, and it's a phenomenal little video.
You did good.
Also, we could see.
That says that's the video is squashed like that.
Okay, all right.
But yeah, this is Jack's idea. He wanted to do a little training video. He wanted to give Papacito a win.
See, and this kind of thing here, as you can see, is an example of when Jack's into something and he commits to it, and he's come up with some great stuff here. As we were saying before we came on the air, it's a tad too long. It could be cut by about a third or even half, even 50%, and just to make it a little bit more tight and a little bit more quick-paced, and it would be perfect, but it's really pretty good,
Yeah.
And you can tell that Jack is having a lot of fun making it. And I actually think it really sort of puts over who the character is and what we can expect. And you see him trying to get himself ready for being hit by a chair because it's hardcore hell. So
this was all Jack's idea. He wanted to have Papacito against the Midday Rocker.
Actually, we should have told people listening that we were about to put this on. We didn't actually mention at all.
Doesn't matter because it's going to be edited in.
Yeah. We are going to put it in.
Yeah.
Alright, cool. So you should be seeing Papacito here starting to pose. The video is coming to an end. You see, all of this could really be cut out, and a lot of the different montage clips could just be shortened a tiny bit.
Yeah,
that's nitpicking, though.
This is early days. E for effort. I was happy to see him put in this kind of effort for
I love it,
the masked character.
I love it. I think it's the perfect little, quirky little tone that sets up what this is.
Exactly. And now I believe the match is going to get underway. I didn't think I'd use the Midday Rocker character again after the previous show, after I wrestled him, and I said to the camera I probably won't see him again, but here we are. He's back to the next show. Obviously Jacob is the one that portrays that character. It's
kind of like what you were saying in the last podcast, how these masked characters may not really be very they may not be very dimensional. They may be sort of quite flat and sort of one note, but they end up becoming good utility players on a card that you can use them for comedy, you can use them for a serious character to get over on, you can use them to fill some time, you can use them to do a parody, you can use them to sort of do like non-wrestling related content, as we've seen many times in the past. So they end up becoming, a very useful part of the show if used sparingly, in my view, and in the right way.
Yeah.
And as we see, Midday Rocker coming out of here, and Jacob's obviously going to have, a great time just running around here, and you can see that Jack's really into what he's doing as well.
Jacob hates that. He hates that pose he does when he makes the entrance. I love it.
Chris is
he's the Midday Rocker. He that's his character. That's all the character is. He likes rock and roll.
So, what was your feeling and plan with the Papacito character at this point in time?
I didn't really have one. I was kind of letting Jack do what he wanted to do with it at this stage, anyway. But as you'll know, like with this show, there will be another masked character debuting, and then the following show, even more masked characters will start showing up. As I said in the last one, I believe I said to you, we were adding masked characters to the roster to beef it up, to make the shows a bit longer, because I didn't think anyone else was going to join. I thought our roster that we had, that was going to be it.
Yeah, and then of course, soon after that point, there was an influx of newcomers.
Yeah, and not only just that, but like you've also got Three Dog. He came in, and Clint Marshall and JD Flame, and guys I did not think would even be interested in coming in. So that's probably when the masked characters took more of a back seat. But Honestly, my idea was that they were going to be just as much of a threat as anyone else.
I just find myself thinking here. This match is going on. It's been pretty decent so far. But these kind of matches, these masked ones, and especially when it comes to adding a stipulation to a masked match or angle, they can very quickly sort of go off the rails a bit, or go down a bad path and sort of become a bit train wrecky, a bit clusterfucky. And was there any concern about opening this sort of all hardcore event with a match like this? Would the match possibly set things off on the wrong note, with everyone thinking, oh, this is just going to be kind of trashy?
Looking at it now, I'm like, I don't know why I didn't open the show with like... I think Chaos is against Rex Regan with the show. I don't know why I didn't open it with that. That would have been a pretty hot opener or something like that.
Well, it would have been a good fucking main event, to be honest.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just that good level of match. And I'm not criticizing this match. I'm wondering if, when you book shows like this, is the order of the matches, how important is that to you?
It's really important. It actually really is.
Yeah.
Like, you need it. If you have a match like this, usually I'll put this match after like a match that was pretty hectic, to kind of chill everyone out and relax a little bit. You don't want to exert too much energy from the crowd, 2 matches in a row or whatever.
You need to sort of...
But you have to remember, when I'm booking WZWA, I'm telling everyone, go out there and have the best match you possibly can have. Like, don't have any restraint on what you want to do, because I want everyone to be having a fucking good match no matter what. So, I prefer that kind of attitude. I don't want to tell someone, you've only got 8 minutes, you've only got 7 minutes. No, I want you to go out there, and unless we have time constraints like we did later on, then there's a problem, obviously, but most of the time I'll be like, go out there and go as long as you feel you need to, and have the best match you possibly can.
Yeah, and let's just bring up the timestamp here for a sec so we can just see. So this has been going on for 15 minutes now, and no, sorry, not 15. Yeah, is this the opening match?
Oh, the match has just started, but we had that in-ring promo.
So this match has probably been going for, say, about 6-7 minutes. These matches you don't want them to drag on, you want them to be short and sweet. At this point, are you feeling like this is starting to drag already, or are you still...
No, because I don't think it's actually been 6-7 minutes. I think it's been about 3.5, but...
Oh, really? It must just be... I don't know.
I think maybe time's warped because you smoked some cones, DJ, but it's okay. So you see, obviously this is now becoming a bit more of a comedy match.
Yeah. But that's the thing, though. Again, tonally, is this maybe something that should have gone on second or third?
Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, I can see that now, but I think I just wanted to get it over and done with, because the Papacito thing here was all Jack's thing, and I just wanted to let him do what he wanted to do. Plus, I believe Jacob's main eventing the show. I probably wanted him to get his first match out the way early,
They don't even know what they are. Hang on.
He's going for a choke slam. There we go. That's interesting.
That's about the flattest back bump Jack ever took in his life. Seriously, scan it back 10 seconds and watch it.
I don't think I've actually ever watched this match back in full.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
I probably saw it in the recap. I've never sat back and watched the whole thing again. So, I feel like it feels nice to sit back and watch, even if it is what it is.
Because it's fresh material as well that we've hardly ever seen.
Yeah.
And that's the really nice thing and the really special thing, I think, about the history of backyard wrestling in WA is just we all end up with this huge body of work that for some of us goes over like 10 years plus, that we can look back in any given year and just see our friends at different stages of our lives.
Yeah.
Having these like performances.
I mean, it's always funny. Like we've said it before in the last show. Look how little they are. Look how little Monet is. He's a referee there. Look how little he is. And Jacob, he's all they're just.
2012.
You forget about how they were like fucking 15.
7 years ago, man.
Yeah.
Doesn't feel like 7 years ago.
No, it's fucking ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
See, I don't know. I'm probably sounding overly critical, but
the match has gone on way too long.
It's gone on too long. Yeah.
And like he's done a spot with the referee.
And they're getting
before.
increasingly like uninterested. So is that it then?
No.
I don't even. Yeah.
No, see that like again like back then sometimes Jack would do things which were a little bit confusing.
Yeah.
But maybe that's because maybe you might feel a little bit lost at that point in time. I don't know.
Always like seeing the FUA.
Me too.
Like, it's weird. People used to bitch about it being a stupid move, but like how's the
all
rock
it is
bottom
a
any
fireman's
better?
carry.
But it always looked good though. It
Yeah,
was fast. It was simple.
I thought the FU was great.
To me, it was that quintessential wrestler's finisher, one that everyone could take. You could do it on everyone.
Well, diamond cutter.
Oh, nice move, nice sell.
I probably would have made that the finish, but
I probably would have made, 10 spots.
you probably wouldn't have booked the match in the first place.
Probably not.
But look, I don't want to like fucking rain on Jack's parade too much.
No,
this is what he wanted to do.
I mean, I enjoyed the concept of it, and I've enjoyed the stuff that they've done. But it's just, in my view, man, it's never been something that I feel should go on for long. I'm not saying that I know better, because when I used to do the playgroup stuff, I often would look back at it and be like, oh man, we just sort of fucking stroked our own egos and just sat, mucked around doing this comedy shit for too long. And so that's why I always think they should be kept short and sweet.
And I agree. Because, the Papacito EQG match, the previous show, that went about 45 seconds, a minute. So Papacito's now won by submission, and he got the win. I guess the idea was, he trains and now he gets the win. It's a story contained in one show, and it's a simple story, and I'm sure Jack was happy with it. And maybe we felt it went a little bit long, but we're letting the young'uns have a bit of fun.
What is really good about this, especially for a masked character, is that there's, aside from the inconsistent behaviour with the ref, being friends with him 1 minute and then hitting him with a chair for no reason the next.
As I said, they're having fun, I don't want to be too strict on everything.
No,
look at the party we got going on in the background there. I can't believe that we started a night show at night. Usually, it starts during the day.
But we've got an example of a masked character
you're
that actually has
kill me now
storyline.
because we got another masked match.
2 in a row?
2 in a row.
What was going through your mind?
I don't know. Maybe someone wasn't there yet, or I wanted to get some things done early. That was probably the case. I wanted to get things done early because we don't have the biggest roster in the world at this stage, and so EQG's coming out, and I believe he's facing the debuting Esqueleto.
Well, I've always been a fan of Esqueleto especially, so I think this should still be a treat.
Watch Esqueleto's really generic taunt as he walks to the ring, because I don't know how to be a masked character.
Chuck him full
Point
screen,
into
bro.
the air. That's all he does. He points into the air. But yeah, look, man. When we wanted to beef up the roster, beef up with some masked characters, I'm like, you know what? I'd like to wrestle more than once a show. So
I'd like to
cosplay
cosplay as... I'm going to cosplay as Lapaka.
Exactly.
Chairman of WCW, baby.
I love Lapaka, and I wanted to... I was actually also excited about the idea of wrestling a different style and doing different moves for once.
And over the years, it obviously did become something that was just so special to you, something that you really enjoyed doing.
Yeah, I can't believe how thin I am.
Hysterical segments and vignettes. So you've worked with Dan a lot of times. You guys know what you're doing. Do you remember having fun in this match here?
Definitely, yeah. Because I'm doing something different, and having a little lucha kind of inspired match. Look at me try and do a tilt-a-whirl backbreaker. Nope.
Oh, nice takedown. I like how he for the folks that aren't actually watching along, he just did a head scissors. Straight into a lateral press and then tilt-a-whirl backbreaker. Yeah, so
yeah, it was my idea to become one of the masked characters and You know, there were going to be more coming along. Yoshiaki wasn't too far off, and I believe Tim had asked to come back as Shinigami. And I don't know if he wrestles on this show as him. I think he might do, actually.
So,
and of course, Scream with Low. He told me that he was a masked character in the early Trampoline WZWA, and he'd like to be a part of it too. So I'm like, all right, well, there we've got 7 fucking masked characters now. Let's see what we can do with it.
And so, the decision to have Dan as your first opponent as Escalado, that was because you knew Dan could get the kind of match that you wanted for the character?
Yeah, because, I mean, now that I realise it, I mean, I used to say to myself, oh, God, I hate the fact that me and Dan never wrestled a match in the ring. No, we're doing it right here. Totally forgot about it. But, yeah, you know, like, obviously I want to establish the new character, and I think, you know, against EQG, who's the ICWS welcoming committee. And look at me now, I'm like, yay, I get to finally do this move that I've always wanted to do.
Whatever stopped you from doing it with your other character?
I ended up doing it as Aston, but, you know, I just like the lucha thing, you know? This is such a lucha thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I lost it.
Up. You fucked up. No. This has actually been like a, you know... This is one thing that is hard to classify as a masked match, because even though it's got those masked characters in it, it's a serious match. That, you know, it's a competitive match. It's a
I didn't want a comedy
match.
I didn't want comedy. I wanted to have a proper match. You know, like, and this is the thing, as I said earlier. I want the masked characters to be seen as a possible threat to people. You know, I remember. One stage I actually wanted Yoshiaki and Shinigami to become the first tag team champions just for something for the Black Carnival to have, you know?
Yeah.
Obviously that changed to when Mitch obviously didn't want to tag with Tim after the first time they did it. But, you know, I wanted the masked characters to be seen as legit threats.
Oh. You know, I actually think that the Black Carnival were a very good, serious faction.
Yeah.
I always enjoyed their stuff. I'm sure we'll get to them later. So, do you recall Dan Zeppelin's feelings on this match? He had a good time? He thought he enjoyed it? He was happy with it?
Yeah, I think we always had fun wrestling each other, you know.
This is actually putting me in the mood to have a match. It's like, you know...
Escalado and EQG, hey?
I haven't gone in the ring in ages, man, or on the mats.
Too bad the fuckhead sold the ring. Another point I wanted to make when I looked like watching this DJ is like how I did want the masked characters to be threats, and I wanted them to seem like they were just as capable as our normal characters.
Like they should be
considered.
Yeah, it didn't last.
It didn't last long because I realised like they can't cut promos. Like I can't do anything with them because I can't get verbiage out of them. I'm not about just having. Oh, here I am trying to do it again. I'm not about just having matches for the sake of having matches. Usually, you know. There we go. There we go.
You gotta extend those legs out, though.
Well, I was worried about killing Dan.
Fuck him.
But yeah, you know, it didn't last long, that's for sure. But the idea was there. But once we had like a bunch of masked characters, and all of a sudden Jack and stuff were calling for a masked division and a masked championship.
It's too, and then it starts getting too much.
If you do that, guess what happens, DJ?
It starts getting too much.
Now segregate the masked characters from everyone else because they want to battle for that masked title.
Then now you've got to fucking have people doing double duty all the time. Everyone's got to remember their fucking mask.
Yeah.
You know, people aren't going to take it seriously. They're going to phone in matches if it's too hot. It's just one of those things that's...
I just didn't think there was any...
stigma attached to it.
There was no legs to a masked championship. It would have just been matches.
You know, I think you could go back to XCW and like, in a large case, like those sort of masked characters being not really serious was a tradition going back to then. With the exception of Diffuse, like you don't count Diffuse.
Well, XCW actually didn't have any.
But they had, you'd have like Cola Bear and
you'd have like
Todd
your comedy characters. Yeah, I get you.
Like Junior Ref and
look
stuff.
at me go for a second rope leg drop.
Yeah, it's cool, man.
Oh man, broken ankle.
Yeah, well, at least it actually looked like you landed on the spot where he would have been if he hadn't moved.
Yeah.
Those are little things that piss me off when people miss a dive, but like they never would have hit him anyway.
Well, we have a nice little battle here.
Yeah, this is a good little match. The cameraman's doing a fucking,
I think it's Charlie.
Bit of a fucking...
Charlie Green, the cameraman. It's a shame that, he kind of drifted off, and I believe this is the finish of the match. Of course, the Skeleton's finishing moves a tombstone. And Esquilito goes over. We get the new character over. He gets a victory.
The zoom into your face. I like that. This is cool.
And I still haven't really figured out the character yet. I'm just being a luchador, but a bigger luchador, I suppose. I'm sure as time wears on, when we watch all these, we'll see more of a animated version.
I mean,
of
the personality, the charisma definitely kicks in more as we go along. But I enjoy seeing the luchador stuff. I always thought that, it reminded me of those little bursts of athleticism you see Aston Crude do, but they're so rare.
Yeah.
From that character, and now we're getting to see a lot more of that athleticism.
I mean, I do a Resolution 1, I do a crossbody off the ring apron onto 3-Dog. Like, I would never do that as Aston. And here comes J7 Bloodstone.
I don't know, this kid was a nice kid.
Yeah.
I don't know what
I'm looking forward to talking about him, because he's not here for very long. I think this is second out of 3 matches that he has, and he's against the debuting Great Shinigami.
These kind of revolving door wrestlers, and I'm not using that in a pejorative sense. They're very common in backyard wrestling.
I will tell you 100 of them from XCW, and you had them in ICW.
Hundreds of them from ICWS. Just about any backyard wrestling federation or attempted backyard wrestling federation has loads of people that come in. They might do a show, and then they are never heard from again.
Yeah,
some of those people make memorable appearances and have classic matches. Some of them...
Like Dante.
Yeah.
He wasn't there very long, but he made a name for himself. But then you have someone like Overkill.
Or Bundaberg, or fucking...
Overkill was only there for, 3 shows? Same as J7. It's a shame, because I thought the kid, had a pretty good attitude, and he seemed like pretty switched on and all that. And he really wanted to be good. He kept asking me, what moves should I do? What should I, what should my character be?
And so Shinigami, we've talked about Tim before.
Yeah.
It's generally not a very flattering appraisal that he gets.
Yeah.
At this point in time, how were you feeling about him? What was your relationship like? What was the background to the Shinigami gimmick? What was the reasoning behind... Why was J7 the guy to face Shinigami? And how are you feeling about what you're seeing?
Well, that's a lot of questions there.
Yeah, that's a lot, but it's basically just give me a rundown on the background.
Tim had messaged me saying that, because I'm sure Tim had retired as Tim Justice, and he was doing EPW training, but... He could see that we're all having fun, and he didn't want to miss out on the fun. So the only way he could do it is as a masked character. So he said to me, I'd like to come back, I'd like to be a masked character and still be involved. What do you want to do? And I'm like, alright, well, I'll come up with a name for you. So I came up with the Great Shinigami, which I think means the Great Death or something like that. The Great Black Death or some bullshit. I didn't want him to miss out. And as far as how I was feeling about him at the time, I was feeling great with Tim. We had a bit of a run-in when I wouldn't let him win the WZWA title in his last match in the Fed. And he was mad at me, but then, he apologised and all that stuff. There was a bit of a botch there.
Yeah.
But, I wanted him to still be a part of it, and any chance to have more guys on the roster, awesome, because I was worried about roster numbers quite a lot. And why him and J7? Well, because at the Frostbite show, Tim was the one that portrayed Papacito, and I thought it would be good for... There we go. That's what they were looking for before. I thought it would be good for them to work with one another again. Just to help Joshua fucking find his footing, in yarding, because he was very, very green, obviously, and... It's always tough when you're that new as a backyard wrestler trying to find your way. So putting with someone like Tim, who was doing training and had a bit of experience, I know Tim would make an effort to, have a good match with him. And I think Josh was... It's a shame that he kind of left so early before he got actually good. But he was a nice kid.
Yeah. And so, what I want to know here is we've got a Hardcore Hell 2012, an all-hardcore event. You've got Tim, who's historically known for wanting to go really far in hardcore matches and then bailing on the bump or chickening out. Or you've got him wanting to turn regular matches into hardcore matches. He's got a rep for that.
Yeah.
And now here we are putting him into his first show back. It's going to be an all-hardcore event. Was there any difficulty dealing with Tim in this respect? And was there any concern about putting him against this really green opponent, knowing that he likes to, go over the top with the weapons and stuff?
I can already tell that Tim has probably come up with a plan with him. And he's forgetting a lot of he's forgetting to sell. Tim had a big problem with forgetting to sell.
You can see that the bumps are becoming very sloppy.
It's very sloppy.
The arms are coming down.
I didn't have any concerns about them having a match because they had already wrestled before. But
And this is about the third suplex.
Tim is not implementing any hardcore shit right now.
Fuck,
so
they've got to tell the cameraman.
By the next show, I think Tim starts fucking thinking, I need to steal the show.
Yeah. Jesus, the cameraman's got to stop facing the spotlight.
Yeah, that's another more issues that happened in the early days was camera work and all that stuff. But
yeah,
it didn't take long for it to be all right,
Yeah, I'm nitpicking a bit, but that's because I sort of want to be thorough.
But yeah, you can see Tim's turning. He's talking to him.
It's sort of the cracks are beginning to form, and a lot like Steel.
I think this is the finish here.
Going for a sharpshooter. It's more of an educator. Oh, it's an educator, bro. Oh no,
Shinigami's tapped.
He tapped. That actually surprises me, but that was.
So J7's 2-0. Look, I'm trying to welcome him into WZWA, make him
get him excited about
happy. He's got a couple wins under his belt.
Boost
now.
His ego a little
Both
bit.
matches
boost
have
his
been
confidence.
against Tim.
Okay, so Tim tapped, but then Tim's going to try and get his heat back.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember. Maybe I've told him to attack him after the match to get over that he's a heel, and he completely missed that kick.
Yeah,
completely fucking missed that kick.
If you actually freeze frame it,
and what annoys me is he's not selling whatsoever. He's so concerned.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he just lost a match. It looks like he's just about to start.
At that stage, I probably had no problem with him. Putting himself over because it was the debut of his character. But I'm sure later on, as time will tell, we will see that Tim will always try and make himself look good by the end of every segment.
And here we go, one of the best. What the fuck? It was Charlie. It was Charlie. Someone just took a massive
swing at him.
Someone just took a massive swing at Chris.
I saw Flano and I thought it was ice.
Yeah, and we were like, shit, who the fuck was that? That was Chris's little brother Charlie. One of my boys, one of my best friends here, one of my favorite wrestlers. And, he's up against Chaos, another one of our boys. He always has a great match with
at
Chaos.
least this time now, Chris is looking more like a wrestler as opposed to the previous event where he wrestled in his Manchester United shirt.
He's looking sharper.
So this is Rex versus Chaos. The match was supposed to happen at Road to Ruin, but Chaos did not show up.
So now we're going to have it here, and we've got the added benefit of it being Hardcore Hell. Mm-hmm. Which we know these two thrive in that kind of
And I'm really
match.
excited to talk about this match, DJ, because this is
Me
a real... actually quite a big moment in the career of Rex and Ice.
Yeah. Is this where they form?
This is where they form their first union before any sort of Black Carnival stuff happens. This is when Rex becomes his protege, helping Ice in his feud with his old buddy Kilowatt Chaos. So as you said before, Chaos missed the last show, so there was a little bit of... I believe he and I had an argument over him missing the last show. I was pretty mad at him for not coming.
Yeah, you sometimes did act like a jerk, eh?
Well, I mean, dude, I have to instill to anyone, if you're going to miss a show, you're going to get heat with me. I'm going to be mad at you over
Well,
it.
it depends why they're missing the show.
No, if I know ahead of time,
it depends
fine.
why they're missing.
If I know ahead of time, fine. But if on the day all of a sudden they can't come because they're too hungover or something like
Well,
that,
that's
then I have
just
a problem.
stupid. Well, was that why he didn't come, or what?
I believe he hadn't been to sleep yet, from my memory. But I also believe he might have had a threesome the night before. So now, when I look back, now I understand. But and this is such an iconic entrance for Chaos. That's
Yeah,
been
here
in
he
every
is. He's
single
looking
highlight
good.
reel that he's ever had.
You can
that
tell he's
entrance.
pumped up. He's got the face paint. He's got the fucking Trivium shirt. He's fucking ready to rock. I know these two are going to have a phenomenal match.
So there is a big story behind all, this match, the result of this match, and all that.
Let's hear it. Let's hear behind the scenes. You choose this match up. Here we go. Okay, I thought he was gonna.
So, like the previous show, Chaos was supposed to go over on Regan.
Yep.
Chaos misses the show, so I want to have the match at this show, but because Chaos missed Road to Ruin, Rex is going over.
Yeah.
Which is the protocol I've had since XCW. If you miss a show, the next show you come back to, you lose. You definitely lose, unless there's a special circumstance. And Chaos was apparently not happy about losing to Rex, so I kind of helped massage that situation by having Ice be the one to cost Chaos the match, so it wasn't a clean finish. But yeah, I don't believe Chaos was happy about losing to one of the young guys this early on.
This would have been probably before they were close mates.
Yeah, definitely. I don't think they knew each other very well at all.
And you can immediately see the psychology being applied, going after the big man's knee. The knee has already previously been injured, and Regan knows that because he's watched ICWS. This is an example of little things that make Chris such a great wrestler. And, Chaos is very good when it comes to psychology and storytelling as well. He's a natural actor, a natural dramatist. And you're going to see those skills in addition to that toughness that both of them are known for. So it's going to be a real
people
treat.
have problems with bouncing off the ropes.
It's because but not only, even for the people that had experience in a wrestling ring before, these ropes feel, on the WZWA ring, they feel nothing like the ropes on an actual professional quality wrestling ring.
Yeah, because they were way lower as well.
The tension and the way that they're actually connected up, and the tension between them, and the force keeping them all tightened and stretched.
Yeah.
That was different in this ring, and it didn't have the same tension that a professional ring had.
100%.
And you'd almost fall through them if you weren't.
If you weren't, like, I would lean down and I would duck down a bit to lean into those ropes,
I used to try and lean down like Rey Mysterio and hit the middle one.
You see, anyone whipping you off the ropes was an idiot. They're not supposed to,
In a professional ring, I could do it. Like in a professional ring,
but
where
on
you
these
could,
ones, no.
No.
Well, one thing I wanted to say was, how much of a fucking test is this for Chris?
Yep, definitely.
2 shows in a row. Last show, he wrestles fucking Ice in hell, that was sick.
Yeah,
in an
that
SPWS
was really
death
good.
match. And then now we've got another fucking SPWS death match with him in Chaos. 2 shows in a row.
You know what?
People will fucking shit their fucking pants knowing they had to wrestle.
He didn't shit his
2
pants.
shows in a row.
Fucking great show.
Fucking good on him.
But here's the thing, though, man. He's embracing that challenge, though. He's not
Exactly. I mean, unlike everyone else.
At this time, if you gave this position to Monet or Jack, as much as I love them, they probably would have been very anxious and hesitant to do it. But Chris looks at it as a challenge, and I think he passed that test with flying colours. Again, psychology with the knees, selling. They've hardly even done any hardcore spots, and it's already, it's off to a very
Obviously,
good start.
this is the best match so far.
You can tell that they... How many times have they wrestled before?
Never.
So this is the very first match of what would become a storied rivalry between 2 really close friends.
I really wish they got to have more of a rivalry later on.
I mean,
we never got to have a proper feud between the two,
The match they had in ICWS was phenomenal.
Yeah, it's just a shame that we couldn't explore a lot of things because of time, getting away from us.
Bruce Pritchard always says...
Like, I never had like a long feud with you. I never actually had a long proper feud with Rex. Yeah. I had a couple matches with him, but I never had a proper feud with him. It's a shame.
Imagine a long feud with us where we could take it. You know, what the angles we would have been able to do.
Imagine like a 6-month run. Imagine a 6-month run between you and Mitch. Never really had the proper feud, did you? You had a couple matches, 2 or 3 matches, but you'd never had a feud. Like, I never had a proper long feud with Ice. I had one with Chaos. I was lucky, but you know, there's so many things that never got to be explored because of time.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that bruise.
Oh, and so here we are starting. Oh, jeez, my goodness, that was pretty hectic. Oh, jeez. And so now we're starting to see the more violent, you know, the match is escalating here. And now it is getting to the nitty gritty for Chris. And you can see Chris isn't backing away from any of the shots, but neither is he being reckless with how he's taking the shots. You know, he is in control of what's happening, and
I'm sure with like everything that was going on between he and I behind the scenes, I was like kind of enjoying the fact that he was being put in these situations. Like, fucking sink or swim, dude. Like, if you want to talk big, here's your opportunity to show that you really are big.
But then how did it make you feel when he backed up his words? So,
I was happy to see it. That's why, you know, I mean, he's going over in a match against Chaos. I mean, I know Chaos didn't make the previous show, but obviously he showed enough to me at Road to Ruin that, okay, I've got no problem with him going over here. Like, he's lost 2 matches now. I'll give him a win here because it makes sense. So, like, I'm happy with him. I'm also mad with him, but I'm also happy with him.
And at the last show, during Rex's match with Ice, we compared Ice with, you know, Bam Bam Bigelow, and I think a lot of times people forget what a good athlete Chaos
shot
is.
There. That was the infamous shot with the fucking what do you call that shit? Plasterboard or whatever.
Jib rock.
Yeah, that was like that. The most painful thing Chris said he ever felt in backyard wrestling.
Yeah, because
he's still screaming.
Yeah, because it hurts. You know
that sound that it makes, that crack.
Can we actually turn the sound up and go back and watch it?
We can't because the mic's plugged in. It cancels out with the noise. Sorry, bro.
We talked about Ice being like a Bam Bam Bigelow, but a lot of people overlook sometimes what a good athlete Chaos was. But he had a very unorthodox style in the ring. At
times, Chaos can be a little uncoordinated with his footwork. So I'd probably compare him to like a Mick Foley, a Balls Mahoney, whereas Ice was kind of like the Vader Bam Bam Bigelow. I could see that. But later on, as time went on, like, Chaos's coordination got way better, without a doubt. I mean, you see some of the shit that he did, you know, later on.
Yeah.
Like, he was, like, really, really good. It's the same with Blade. Blade was very uncoordinated for years in XCW, but then he found his footing.
So just for shits and gigs, who would you compare Chris to, then?
Oh, God, I don't know.
Jeff Jarrett, maybe.
Dean Ambrose. I don't know why.
Who would you compare me to?
I don't fucking know. Zach Gowen.
Fuck off, cunt. And so we see... Now we're continuing to see Chris work on that leg. You know, it's consistent. It makes sense because he's the smaller guy.
He's continuing the psychology. And I'm hoping, as we watch this, I'm hoping it doesn't become like... Oh, jeez, that was dangerous.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness.
Fucking hell.
Oh, man.
I hope that this doesn't turn out like the Ice match where, you know how we felt like it went on too long?
It outstayed its welcome.
I hope this gets maybe 5-6 more minutes.
Yeah.
I hope not another 10.
We should start noticing what timestamps there are when each match starts so that we can...
We're 47 minutes into the show, apart from the Papacito video, so that's 49 minutes. But, you know, we're totally kicking to high gear with Hardcore Hell 2012. Look at this fucking match, dude. Like, oh, man, that was a brutal chair shot. That's Chaos saying, I don't want to fucking lose this match.
Jesus Christ.
Like, you're going to earn your stripes, kid.
That looks like he's going to earn a concussion.
Great chair shot. I fucking love a good fucking chair shot to the head. I know that it's... Oh, here we go.
Oh, here we go. Wait a second. What is this?
Ice continuing the feud with Chaos.
Big choke
He's
slam.
chokeslammed the fuck out of him. And now him and Rex are laying a fucking beating on Chaos.
Such good chemistry, man. It was whenever Ice and Chaos like feuded as well as teamed, it was real, man. It always like looked genuine. It always like captivated you as a viewer.
And this is a perfect show for the Dark Ice character because there's no rules, and the whole character is about not fucking following the rules.
And Ice is a great person to mentor Chris, and you know, setting it up by having Ice turn on his like brother. I mean, it's even bit more dramatic, and
exactly.
It's a really good, you know, narrative choice.
And you already know the reason why I put Rex with Ice, right?
Yeah.
To fucking calm him down and have a big older dude fucking put him under the learning tree and, you know, just chill him out a little bit. And I think it would help, I think it was going to help Rex, you know. There you go, double choke slam. What an insult to injury considering that was Chaos and Ice's finishing move together. And now Rex is about to get the biggest win of his early career in WZWA. What a pretty good moment for him.
Fucking cameraman. Yeah, it definitely
Cameraman's
is.
fucking Michael J. Fox, mate. Like.
Yeah.
And I guess he's gone for
Why pick him back up after the choke slam?
I guess, you know, it's just inexperience.
Oh, okay, there.
Onto the chair.
Doing it again onto the chair.
I guess,
time.
like, if Chaos probably said, if I'm losing, then you fucking make sure you put me away properly. So Rex gets the win, and we, you know, we debut the alliance between him and Ice, which is just fucking awesome. You know, this is.
I was always a big fan. Like, look,
this
Ice,
is nearly a year and a half
man.
that they're a team. You know,
Ice is already killing it with this, man, and it's the beginning of the angle. And they're really like, you know, making a point about it as well.
Exactly.
So from a storyline point of view, it's like a strong way to make this
fucking laying waste to him, man. Like, I think I would have said, fucking like beat him down. Let's get some heat on him.
Chris and Ice already have some good chemistry between them as well.
It already makes sense, doesn't it? When you look at it, it already makes sense. Like, Rex had that match with Ice at the last show. Ice, the character, must have, you know, grown some respect for the kid for fucking putting up such a big fight, and now they're working together to fucking, you know, make an example out of Chaos. I'm really happy with how I'm booking things in WZWA.
The show overall has a good flow to it.
Well, now it does. Before, I mean, you had 3 matches in a row with masked characters, and one of those matches had a very green young dude in it. So
I'm finding myself really enjoying this beatdown angle.
Oh, look at that nod! The nod and the Ice gets it, man.
Good
he gets
shot
it.
there. Like
he gets the fucking facial expressions you're supposed to have.
Very nice.
The hand comes out. He doesn't shake it straight away. He waits a second. He nods and then he shakes the hand. It's perfect.
Yeah, it's good.
That's why, like, Ice reminds me so much of Diffuser because they understand the nuances that you need to have when you perform. Oh man, fucking just choke slam him already. Just do it.
Yeah, just. This is actually really well done.
I'm sure Rex is fucking mouthing off to the camera, and you know, we always had this thing going on. Oh man, they're gonna fucking lay him out again. We always had this thing going on. You know, we had me and Alex, but you know, it's not even in the background. It's still in the foreground. You got Ice and Regan fucking laying waste to people and making a big fucking bunch of noise. And it's a shame that we never really got that Elite Alliance
still going,
versus
like Rex is back in the ring.
We
now.
never
Now
got
they're
that.
walking on him.
We
Like
never
that.
got
It's overkill at this point.
Oh
no! Don't what are you doing?
Take out the coon. It's a shame we never got that Elite Alliance Black Carnival kind of confrontation.
Like Survivor Series match. Imagine that, or a King of like a Clash of Triads.
It's just a shame because I was in the Black Carnival as well, so it doesn't really work. But I's already telling Rex what to do. Rex is, his number 2. This is great stuff.
Immediately,
I'm very fucking happy with that. I haven't seen it since it fucking happened, dude. Like, so.
I mean, that beatdown was, if nothing else, it was excessive.
I like how excessive it was.
Yeah.
I don't know what's happening next. It's probably
camera's very out of
It's
focus.
probably the tag match. I don't know. Oh, Mykonos versus Big Red Ryan Tate, and it will probably be for the Australian Championship.
It'll probably be a great match. So Mykonos, we talked about his, ever-changing ideas for his gimmick. We talked about the, sort of your plans for Mitch, your plans to sort of elevate him, get a bit more of his personality showing. You had him lay Ryan out after Ryan's match at the previous event. Mykonos was the right guy here to be set up with Ryan. What were you looking to get from these two as far as they're working with each other?
Well, I wanted Ryan to improve in the ring, first and foremost, and I knew without a doubt, with the level that Mitch was at this point, that just the fact that they're working together and coming up with match plans and having these matches together, I knew that there's no way that Ryan wouldn't improve as a wrestler. And after it was over, Ryan was so much better than he was before it. Like, he really he fired up, he got in there. Mitch made him a fucking star, dude. Like, of all people, you put him with Mitch, he's gonna make that guy fucking improve tenfold. And he made, Ryan will always say, thank you to Mitch, because Mitch really fucking brought him to the next level.
And you can...
And look, Mitch, he's still sticking with the Psycho Mykonos thing at the moment, and I thought this was the best that I ever booked him in WZWA, was that 2012 run. And this 3-match series that him and Ryan had really put Ryan on the map.
I am actually genuinely marking out for this match. I'm really excited. I love working with both guys. Technical match I'm expecting here. You can see the feeling out process happening if you're watching along. I note here that Ryan, as I do, has a background in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He practiced the gi style. I did no gi. But you can see he's wearing the bottoms from his Jiu-Jitsu gi. I actually think that's a really nice touch for the character, and I wish more people wore that kind of martial arts-based attire in the ring.
I mean, I know it didn't last much longer after he got some custom gear made, but
I could have really dug that with some custom kick pads, custom elbow pads,
Yeah. He's evolving. He's still evolving,
Yeah. But his ideas, the progression of his work always felt natural, though.
Yeah.
Unlike with Mykonos, who never missed a beat in the ring, but sometimes, struggled for consistency with the character stuff.
Yeah.
And you can see there's a real sense that both of these guys are excited to wrestle, and I think that it's probably going to be the most technical-based match that we're going to see on the card.
Definitely. I'm excited sitting here watching it. You know me, I don't just like to sit here and watch technical wrestling matches, but when I'm watching my boys do it back in the day, I haven't seen this match back in fucking years, so I'm excited to see exactly how it went,
But I would say, you're a person that you appreciate technical wrestling, though.
I do.
I'm sure if you're watching a pay-per-view, you're going to enjoy, Dean Malenko versus Eddie Guerrero.
I was just thinking Dean Malenko as you were talking. So.
Yeah,
I do enjoy it for sure, and I definitely enjoy Ryan and Mitch work together.
I am already really enjoying this match. You can see here both guys going for their finishes, both guys countering.
Good line.
Follow through, shoulder to shoulder. Ryan just, completely free flowing with his body. I was talking to Vincent Graves during the AJ Styles versus Shane McMahon match at WrestleMania a while back, and he mentioned that he felt like the reason Shane McMahon was so good in the ring, even though he wasn't that highly trained, was because he just allowed his body to almost be completely limp and just completely allowed, his body to just go with whatever was happening.
Yeah.
And I think you can see here an example of Ryan doing a lot of that, and really letting Mykonos lead where things are going, because Mykonos has the experience advantage at this point.
Yeah.
But you can see that Ryan already has enough sense to kind of stick with him and follow along with what Mitch is trying to do.
I think this is all Ryan needed, was someone like that where he knew he had to up his game, and once he upped his game never went down from there, you know what I mean?
Someone else who appreciated holds, who appreciates striking.
Yeah.
Ryan was always into that realism, and
Mitch is so far the best person at bouncing off the ropes.
Yeah.
Just going to grab another beer, keep talking.
And you can really see through Mitch's, controlling of the body, staying, grabbing hold of an arm, grabbing hold of a leg, staying, never moving away from Ryan, never providing him distance. From a kayfabe point of view, what we're really seeing here is somebody that takes wrestling seriously.
Yeah.
And isn't here to fuck around out there like some other characters. And we've got two guys here that basically want to actually wrestle and compete.
Yeah.
And I think that is sometimes all you need from a story point of view for really good wrestling.
Yeah.
Is just two guys having a competition, because at the end of the day, that's what wrestling's supposed to be.
And this feud's about respect. This is about Ryan gaining the respect of Mykonos, and by the end of it, he does. I don't know if this is a title match or not. I can't remember. I know one probably wasn't a title match, but another one was. And I don't know if this is the 2 out of 3 falls match that they had. I don't know if I was at this show or the next show. My memory just fucking escapes me, but unfortunately I didn't have that information on me when we started watching this, so we'll soon see.
And Mykonos really heavy on the heel tactics, really kind of and then the defiant hero bites the hand that slaps his face.
I mean, Ryan's still at this stage still kind of a rookie almost, like he's just kind of
but you can already see the makings of
you can see right now as this match is wearing on, Ryan is becoming,
his confidence is increasing. He's fucking hell, Jesus Christ, somebody tell Mitch that it was fake or what?
So Ryan's
you can
still
see
having,
that.
still
Yeah,
having a
you
hard
can
time
see
going
that
off the
really
ropes.
stunted his momentum there. Fucking Jesus, boys!
He'll get there,
They're like those,
he's going to get there. He's
it's
getting
like
close.
a fucking Muay Thai match.
You just got to get comfortable bouncing off those ropes, and the communication thing obviously is another thing that a lot of guys need to learn as they go through their time in yachting.
Into the Anaconda Vice here, and
Is that the it's the Anaconda Vice.
Yeah. So, at this point as a booker, are you starting to feel like, let's talk about out of the ring for a minute. Let's talk about the guys around the ring watching the show right now. Are you starting to feel like, rotator, are you starting to feel that, hey, the social atmosphere at these shows is good, people are connecting. I see friendships forming. I see people are starting to comment on, on each other's Facebook.
Yeah.
I see that it's definitely becoming a group dynamic. I see guys going and hanging out with others and that they met through wrestling.
I think this is the first show where I'm starting to feel something brewing, because it's a night event. Everyone's kind of having a bit of fun. There's people drinking and having a good time. It's not quite where it's going to become. It's not quite where it's going to be eventually. But I'm feeling like just the simple fact we're having a night show. It's an exciting thing. The ICWS guys never had a night show before. They're finally getting to do it. Just being in that atmosphere is going to create better camaraderie. So, I'm feeling way more camaraderie and stuff at this point than I did the previous show, where it was kind of like we're still feeling out this WZWA thing. I really feel like things are starting to come together, not only storyline-wise, but also, we're all, having a good time together, and it's just an exciting time, I suppose, to be in WA yarding.
Yeah, and, so... You've said that you're feeling happy with how the pacing and the vibe of this show is going. Are you feeling like this show has had the right amount of weapons so far? Do you think that we're sort of seeing a good balance of all the elements?
I think, the first 3 matches didn't really implement that much weapon usage, except for Papacito and Midday Rocker, which was what it was. We had Chaos and Regan, which was implementing a lot of that shit, but, these two aren't going to go out there and fucking use weapons. They don't need to. They don't want to. They just want to go out there and have a great match. So, I know it's no rules and all that stuff, and we'll get to more of that later. That's for sure. I'm happy with it so far. Not every match needs to be a fucking bloodbath, that's for sure, I wouldn't want to see Mykonos pick up a chair right now. I would want Mykonos to fucking... He's still... I think that's the first time he ever hit that. I think that's the first time he ever did the frog splash.
That was some impact.
I wouldn't want to see Mitch fucking pull out a chair right now, because I want to see them two have a great
instead you see
match.
Him, the big splash onto the stomach. Sorry for cutting you off there.
That's alright. I want the Mykonos character to show right now. I don't need fucking weapons to beat this guy. I can beat him any day of the week. I beat him at Frostbite. I'll beat him again.
See, the thing about this, and this is something that I have problems with, I find to be problematic even in a lot of pro matches that I see, is that they fail to look like competition. They ignore the fact that wrestling is competition. Wrestling needs to be a competition.
Yeah.
And I think that we're seeing a great example of that with this match right now. I think that it's important to... these guys are actually, at least within kayfabe, the characters, they are trying to keep close to each other. They're trying to outmaneuver each other. They're trying to
look at the transitions and reversals. He's just fucking reversed a fucking spinebuster into a guillotine choke. It's brilliant. And Ryan's fucking keeping him up there. Ryan's a little dude. He's not a big guy, and he's fucking strong enough with his legs there to keep him up. And then he's going to fucking boom. He's going to hit him with that.
He's managed to do it anyway, but now they're both down. See, it's just really great psychology.
You know how fucking proud I am sitting here right now watching these guys back then have a match like this. I mean, to me, when I saw this back in the day, I'm like, fucking Mitch and Ryan, they fucking nailed it tonight. And now when I watch back now after fucking, 7 years, I'm like so proud of these two guys going out there and having a match of this quality, They don't even work together once.
This is a great match, dude.
So I know this, I'm starting to remember now, I believe this is a non-title match. Because Ryan already lost to Mitch, so why would he get a title shot? I'm pretty sure this is a non-title match. I don't know if it's a submission match or not, though.
It seems we know very little except...
Because I don't recall seeing them go for pinfall attempts.
See, now he's choking him with the wrist tape.
Referee knows that there's no rules.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm beginning to feel like this is a submission match because I don't believe I've seen them fucking go for a pinfall attempt so
There
far.
seems to be a lot of like focus on.
Sorry, Ryan.
submissions.
I'm sure you're probably sitting there watching this back, going, "Fucking Carl, it's a fucking submission match. It's a non-title match." Yeah, you're the encyclopedia, all right? You little fucking cunt.
We get it, dude.
We get it. We get it. All right. We get it. Fucking get over it.
Jesus.
Fucking upload another picture of the schwa ring. Fucking upload another picture of the schwa ring or some shit. I don't know.
Savage. And so
Love you, Big Red.
and I do too, Carl.
Oh, now
Okay,
making us
so
is
now
getting
they are
frustrated.
breaking out. How am I feeling about them bringing out the weapons? I don't know. You know?
You're asking yourself a question.
Yeah,
aren't you?
I don't think that it's necessary. Really,
I think the Mykonos character right now is getting frustrated that he can't put him away. And now he's realising, okay, maybe I'm going to have to implement this fucking hardcore shit that I don't like. Just because I need to fucking try and beat this cunt already.
You know what I'll say, though?
It's good psychology, right?
Yeah,
Come on.
you know what? I will say this. He genuinely looks menacing.
He does.
And the
fucking
shots
awesome.
the shots look convincing. It looks like he's just beating the crap out of him.
The looks, he's using his facial expressions to look at the crowd. This
Yeah,
is a fucking
dude.
pro, man.
Yeah, Mitch actually, he could be such a great pro wrestler. Oh, man. Talk about laying it in.
And good
That's a
selling from
clothesline.
Ryan. He's stumbling all over the place,
Yeah.
but he's trying to fire up. Mitch won't let go of the fucking weapon. Like, awesome.
Oh, what's he going to do to break out of it here? Oh,
Fucking kick to the
Jesus
fucking head cunt.
Christ.
Right in the fucking head cunt.
And see, this match is just, for me. This is just phenomenal, man. I'm loving every second.
I guess it's a submission match
Yeah,
because
here
Mitch
we
has
go.
been... Here we
Dragon
go.
Sleepers in. We're about to find out. Is he gonna tap?
I guess it's a submission match because Mitch has been fucking locking in that Dragon Sleeper on him every event. Ryan's
Ryan.
out of it.
Yeah, he's just rolled through, and they've broken. Oh. And
I
you
still
can
don't.
see
I still
here,
don't feel like the match is dragged though. I'm
me
still
neither.
into it. I'm still
You can
into
see
it.
here that like Mykonos is keeping that leg scissors on him, and this is again another good example of these are both guys that think of details like that.
Look, he can't quite lock it in, and Ryan's fucking holding his arm up. Look at this.
And you can say what you want about backyard wrestling and whether it's legitimate professional wrestling. Like, we get it. It's not professional because it's not really a business. But you cannot look at this and not 100% agree that it is logical, it makes sense from a psychology standpoint, it's beautifully paced from a narrative standpoint.
And you know all those fucking pro wrestling cunts out there would be like, "Oh, it's sloppy," or "Fuck you, cunt." Like,
It's
a
really
fucking good
no
match.
more sloppy than, a lot of other shit you see online.
Better than any AAW match I ever saw when I wrestled there.
Except for yours, right?
Nah, mine was shit too because I had to wrestle AAW wrestlers.
Did you find that they were receptive to your ideas? In
No,
AEW?
they weren't.
They
no.
weren't at all?
No,
So
I pitched a
what,
whole storyline between me and fucking B Money, and he said no to it. And I'm like, well, fuck you then, cunt. And then I pitched another story with me and...
did you actually say that?
No, I didn't. But then I pitched another story with me and Throne picking on Chris Parker as the rookie, and Chris would end up getting his 1, 2, 3 kid moment over me, and
man.
he
Good
said no to
idea.
that too. And I'm like, well, we're not doing anything already. Why don't we just do it? Because we're not doing anything. Let us do something. Let us sink our teeth into something.
It has
you
to be
fucking
there.
fat
It has
cunt.
to be...
You fat fucking cunt. Fucking making me job to you, you fucking piece of shit. Fucking putting over B Money. Jesus Christ. Fucking... I could beat the fuck out of that cunt. It's like my Bundy Mac X moment. Oh, boy, I could beat him in a real fight.
Tell us how you really feel, Carl.
So he's reversed the pressure here. Back to the figure 4.
And again, this is just really riveting stuff. It
is a submission match. It definitely is a submission match.
They're in the center. Man,
too
if he
small
hits,
and
if Ryan actually hits one of these slaps that he keeps going for, it's gonna be fucked. There'll be a trip to the emergency room for a ruptured eardrum. Trying to reverse the pressure. Oh,
Really well done.
yeah,
Really,
really
well done.
like legitimate looking. Nice.
Very good, Ryan. Very good.
Bow and arrow.
Yeah, man, this is a good match. You know, they're
Counter,
fucking really
fuck.
they're really selling the whole submission thing, aren't they? They're fucking
hell.
going for it.
Yeah,
Man.
like Jesus.
Most people
Man,
just have a match and then
dude.
lock in a submission hold at the end and it's over. You know, these cunts are fucking useless, but these two fucking killing it.
Yeah.
Jeez, this must be
Fucking
nearing
get
the
the fuck out of
15-minute
the way,
mark,
bruh.
surely.
Yeah, it's been going for a while, but as I'm still feeling like it's deserving of its time. Spinebuster.
Oh, disrespect. Wait a minute. Fucking triangle choke, that's sick.
Now you're the one commentating everything.
It's sick, bro. It's fucking good.
Oh man, now he's just...
I think we've run out of fucking questions to fucking be asked at this stage. We just gotta fucking watch the match, you know? What else is there that you want to know? I mean,
Well,
I
I'm
don't
gonna
think there
ask
is
stuff
much
as
more.
I think of it, you know? Oh.
Enziguri to the kidney.
So, the night show, we've talked about the atmosphere, we've talked about the more party sort of thing. Do you feel that enhances the matches, or do you sometimes feel like the social aspect of it outshines the matches?
Later on, yeah, I felt like the social aspect was taking over because, you know, we'd have a show at Jack's house and he'd invite fucking 30 of his friends that didn't know shit about wrestling and didn't give a fuck that there were matches going on. So yeah, at stages like that, yeah, I was annoyed that the social aspect seemed to take over because I'm like, first and foremost, this is a fucking wrestling show. But at this stage, everything seems fine, everyone's still into it all. I know we're having a hard time with time for this show, that's for sure.
Look at how good these clotheslines just look. I miss wrestling Mykonos, man. I do. I'm looking at this going, man, I miss wrestling. Oh, a little bit of a...
Bit sloppy.
Yeah.
That's alright though, everything else has been pretty sweet. I mean, I'm thinking of the finish of this should be in the next 2 minutes.
Yeah, I'm sort of thinking...
And I'm sure that's what's happening right here.
Going for that Dragon Sleeper that he's trying to get over his finisher. Reversal, rotator. Roaring elbow. Oh.
No, whoop. Go on, boys, don't ruin what you started.
Yeah,
Bit of miscommunication, you can tell.
A little bit lost here. Oh. Into the Koji clutch. And,
Oh, look at those elbows.
you know, as I watch this, I imagine what it would have been like to see Ryan and Mykonos teamed up as the sort of Kurt Angle Benoit, like,
Yeah, that
shooter
would've been-
team
that would've
that
been pretty
doesn't
cool.
get along.
Definitely would have been
It's
cool.
like he's setting up for another elbow. Again, into the Koji. I think this would be a really logical place for the finish. Yeah. I'm thinking...
Ah, right. You cheeky little fucker, Mitch. You cheeky little fucker. If he loses because he passes out. Yeah, you little he never tapped out. He wouldn't want to tap out. Did I book that? Did he come up with that idea? I don't remember. But
you know what? I actually think that works brilliantly.
yeah,
that would-
so Ryan
from a-
Tate fucking beats Mykonos in a non-title match in a submission match, which was fucking off the fucking chain.
That would make any fan be like, I want to see those two wrestle again. And that's what is fundamentally wrong with places like the AAW that you were talking about, is that they don't understand that you set something up that gets people invested in seeing the next chapter.
Exactly.
Chapter 1 has to make you want to see Chapter 2.
Exactly.
Chapter 2 has to facilitate Chapter 3 and keep you invested in that.
Yeah.
And in this case, I want to see the next chapter of this rivalry between these two.
Definitely. I mean, that's the idea, you know, like Mykonos can't fucking believe that he passed out.
Yeah.
You know, he's back up now. He's putting his hand out. Which is, you know, the Psycho Mykonos character probably. And then boom. Special beam cannon. Total disrespect. Keeping that heel thing going. And
He's not.
then he's going to lock in a fucking
He's not done yet.
submission
He's going to get his tap out back or his pass out.
And there you go. Why wouldn't you want to see a rematch now? Because he shook his hand, and then he fucking showed nothing but disrespect, and now he's locked in a submission.
There's the little touch there that Alex, the ref, is doing. Referee Alex Cohen, actually trying to physically cause Mykonos to break the hold there. That was a nice little touch.
Yeah.
Little details in wrestling are what are the best things about it, man. Make it come to life. Make it real.
So, I mean, look, when you're watching this, DJ, aren't you thinking this is pretty well booked?
Yep. Yeah.
You had the Ice and Regan thing. Now you've had the Mykonos thing.
Yeah.
Okay, we've had heat.
So far, man, I'm like thinking, because I've never seen this before, or I don't even know if I was there.
You were probably there, but I mean, I know you were there because Jacob tried to high five you as Midday Rocker. But I mean, I wouldn't expect you to remember it. I mean, I don't remember the whole thing either. I mean, I haven't watched any of this.
So this is I'm watching this, and it's, you know, beat for beat feeling like a wrestling event, and it's, you know, it's making sense. So yeah, I'm definitely thinking that the pacing and the way everything's going is perfect.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy so far. It was a great match. I mean, I'd probably rate that higher than Regan versus Chaos thus far. I mean, I think that was probably match of the show thus far. And I think now what we're looking at, it's going to be the first ever tag team match in WZWA history with the Elite Alliance and its debut against Premium. What do you think of that name, DJ?
I think it's shit.
I think when they look back, they don't understand.
I think it's garbage. But what excites me about it, because I was always a huge fan of doing tag matches in WZWA. This is one of the things about having a proper ring that's really exciting. That we can do proper tag matches, we can do hot tags, we can book angles around tag rule, like matches with tag rules, because we have proper ropes. Whereas the tag matches in ICWS, where it was sort of a tongue-in-cheek thing, where each team just stood on a corner and just would step in when it was their time, even though there were no ropes. I still had a lot of fun doing those as well, quite frankly. And there was I even remember you being in a great tag match on that base back in the day. But in any case, it's exciting to see a tag match, because I think tag wrestling was some of my favorite stuff in WZWA.
Yeah. And, you know, I mean, I was adamant that this be a proper tag match. I didn't care that there was no rules. I wanted a proper tag match. And I remember Eli being in the crowd fucking kind of heckling me, saying, you know, there's no rules though. There's no rules. It's like, no, dude, I want a fucking proper tag match, okay? Like, I don't want this to turn into some sort of tornado tag clusterfuck. Me and Alex against these two kind of, like, young dudes who are still finding their way in wrestling. I wanted to have a proper match.
If it's a gimmick match, then the stipulation is that these are the rules. So technically it's not violating anything to have a non-hardcore match.
I think
you
it's
can
fine.
still have a match with normal tag rules, but then allow people to ignore the count and stuff.
Yeah.
But just follow the normal tag rules for the sake of it. It doesn't really matter. It's only, you know, wrestling.
I mean, Jack and Monet's tag team, as we discovered last time when I told you, they weren't really a proper tag team. They just pretended to have been a tag team so they could do this storyline. This is their first tag match. This is mine and Alex's first tag match. The whole point of this is to, you know, get me and Alex over as a new team, but also tell this story with the Jack and Dynamo storyline.
You know, this seems like a good time to talk about this. I remember a couple of times, you know, when I first did tag matches, and this would have been either in yarding or in, like, pro training. I found tag matches a little bit difficult because you now had the added element of having to communicate with your partner as well as your opponents, and you've got two opponents. So Was there any concern that would become a problem doing this match? That it would be difficult to keep everything organized and keep everyone on the right track?
I felt confident in my ability to communicate during the match. I don't believe we planned a fucking thing. I told them to listen to me out there, and we would figure it out as we went along. And I think it ended up turning out pretty good. Like, for me to go out there and have an improvised match with Alex for my first ever tag team match with him against these two guys who'd never been in a proper tag match before, to improvise it is a pretty, a big step to take. But I was confident that it'll be fine, that the match will be fine, because I'll be able to communicate to everyone appropriately.
Look how young Monet looks there.
Way too young.
Those dark eyes. Boy.
I mean, every tag match I had in XCW up until the final year was a Tornado tag match. It was never like a proper tag match, So I liked, the fact that we could finally actually do one. With ropes, with turnbuckles.
The real deal. So far it's been a very good card, so I'm looking forward to the next match as well.
Yeah, I think the next match is the main event, which will be Ice versus Antilochus for the Backyard Championship. But I'm sure we'll talk about that when we get to it.
And you and Alex already seem to have a good chemistry, like, right off the bat.
Yeah, it's like Ice and Regan, like, it just seems to make sense.
So you obviously, you enjoyed working with Alex, you look back fondly at that period of
very
that
much.
run.
Yeah, very much. Me and him would drive in the car to the shows together, drive home together, talk about the show. I get like feedback from him on what he thought was good or wasn't good, and so he and I became pretty close during this time.
And do you feel that translated well in the ring?
Yeah, every time we were always on the same page. We both got one another, I think every match we had against one another, every match we tagged with one another, it was always a good match. We never seemed to have a bad one, As time wore on, I always felt like mine and his friendship distanced. I don't know why that is. I don't think it's anyone's fault. I just think as time wore on, it distanced a little bit. But during this time, and probably till halfway through 2013, I would have considered Alex one of my best friends.
And so here we go. Alex is starting out with, we can't fucking see because there we go, Jack Wallace.
Nice work, Charlie.
Yeah, fuckhead. Hold the camera still, you fuckhead.
Jeez, Deacon isn't even in the Fed yet. I'm just picking on you, Deacon. I don't know if you're a bad cameraman or not. Steele's a bad cameraman. Steele's a bad everything, to be honest.
So is this your first time wrestling Jack and Monet?
Certainly is. And I want to certainly point out how Jack is very timid. Anytime Alex or I go towards him, he kind of shies away and puts his hands up, and
he took that pretty well.
He preemptively bumps a little bit at times as well. I think Jack is. He seemed to really bring it at Road to Ruin against Mitch. But for some reason, I felt like in this match, because I was bringing it to him, I wanted to make sure that he knew that I was there. I felt through the whole match, Jack is kind of a bit scared of working with some bigger dudes,
That was really nice. So far everything seems to be good though.
Yeah, no, everything's fine. I mean, I've seen this tag match several times before, Just before WZWA ended, I was trying to watch every single one of my matches in WZWA before I got to the final show. See what I mean? Yeah.
You could see
so I was trying to rewatch everything, and I got as far as like mid 2013 before I think I just lost track of what I was doing. But I wanted to watch every match I'd had before the final show, just as a little. And see, look at me, fucking bring it, dude.
He's taking it, though.
He's taking it, but you'll see, he's a bit.
He's taking it.
You'll see it
because he's got to get.
I think I do.
He's probably got to get used to this.
See, look at this.
Level
He's like
Yeah, he's probably not used to this level of physicality, man.
And like that's what I'm trying to teach him. Look, bro, this is not ballet. So don't shy away from me when I clothesline you in the corner. You got to fucking you got to take it. So I'm going to throw him around a little bit. I always like
taking that.
I'm going to throw him around a little bit. You know, everyone loves taking.
Once he starts getting thrown around, fucking hell, Charlie. Once he starts getting thrown around,
like I would have kicked him properly there, like safely but properly, you know. And like, you know, I'm chopping you. Don't fucking put your arm up. He's put his arm up.
He's not really, man.
No, he put his arm up. He's trying to protect himself, but I'm like, no, you're gonna feel it, okay?
It just takes getting used to it, man. After a few hits, you realise it's not that bad.
Yeah, it's not that bad.
Look at that. He laid that in, man. Like, I think he's starting to realise now. Front drop kick. Fucking Charlie. Jesus. Alright, I think that might be our first t-shirt, man.
Fucking Charlie.
Yeah.
Dude, if we make...
Come on.
No one's buying the shirts,
man.
DJ.
Come on.
Who's buying the shirts? Fucking Charlie. Like,
we'll just start our own company.
Walking around
no,
with
we don't have to. Everyone doesn't have to
Charlie.
know what the context is. Our shirts will just be good, funny.
Fucking Charlie.
So,
it's so cute that you're trying to be Conrad.
Yeah, and
that's a t-shirt.
Yeah, and this fucking match here is off to a pretty tremendous start.
It is tremendous. I'm proud of it because this is the beginning of me and Alex and what is such a big part of everything that I ever did. You know, this is a huge part. I was proud of Alex. You know, I was going with him. He was my project, I guess you could say. I knew that eventually one day Alex would be the guy.
And you can see here that natural refinement that Monet already has in the ring. Really crisp enziguri, immediately covers him.
Well, I recall a lot of fucking criticism towards him from the way that he used to bump. And that he used to not like taking suplexes. I mean, it took me several years in XCW to take a fucking suplex properly. And I only took it because I wrestled this guy called Acid Rain who did EPW training and I felt like I could trust him. So I totally get where Monet's coming from, having a hard time like taking suplexes and all that. But he is coming to his own immediately. As soon as WZWA got the ring, he fucking started going for it, man. Like,
yeah, oh fuck, dude. Yeah, like you can see that really good selling that he's known for.
Monet was so easy to wrestle back then. Because he was so light and he sold like a fucking motherfucker. Boom.
So you feel like Monet so far is able to adjust to it.
Dude, look at the facial expressions, the screaming that's going on when he does it. Like, you know, the last time we did this, when we were talking about Road to Ruin, and you took exception to me saying that I ranked Luke and Jacob higher than Chris, I just watch what Luke's doing here. I look at his selling, I look at his ability. Yes, I did think that he was a bit higher than Chris at the time. And remember when we watched Monet versus Jacob in the main event of Road to Ruin?
Yeah.
And how fucking great that match fucking went off?
Yeah, that was a
like
phenomenal match.
That's why I thought later on, or around this time, I was thinking Jacob number 1, Luke number 2, Chris and Jack are around the same kind of area. Maybe Chris a hair higher than Jack. Jack's a bit hit and miss sometimes. But Chris is above him, but not by too much. But then when I see Chris wrestle, you know, Chaos at this show, then yes, I know he's above Jack. Because he's taking the shit that he needs to take from Chaos, whereas Jack's shying away from me. So the rankings between the three change each show. Except Jacob's always on top. I mean, he always was.
Jacob just had that natural ability as well.
Yeah. But like, Monet plays the man in peril in this match. So fucking good. He knew the job that he had to do, and he fucking did it. So I was proud of him, and that's why he won so many awards at the 2012 End of Year Awards. I mean, he won Most Improved. He won. I think he won like 3 or 4 awards, like Feud of the Year. You know, I was proud of him.
Yeah, and I really think that this match is a great first match for the team of Jack and Monet. I think you and Alex, your first match as a team is off to a great start. Yeah, so far it's been a really enjoyable card.
And I'm looking forward to Antilochus versus Ice because I haven't seen that back since.
There's no way that isn't a fucking good match, man. There's just no way.
I can't wait to talk about it.
Yeah.
Got any other questions, bro?
I'll say him as I think.
Referee Dan Cohn in charge of proceedings.
Yeah, man. Fucking. Yeah, more than a few cones.
So, I mean, I guess with the... Oh, look, I've forgotten how to do an abdominal stretch. I forgot how to do it.
Looks like you're trying to do a Russian leg sweep and rape him.
So, obviously, Dan, in storyline, has lost his contract match the previous show.
Yeah.
Dan Zeppelin's obviously not in the card. He hasn't made an appearance. We're leaving a gap. This show, he's not showing up.
But there he is, fucking reffing the show.
No, that's Dan Cohn. That's Dan Cohn. So
yep, perfectly.
You just missed that German suplex because you're looking at your fucking phone.
Yeah.
Look, if we're going to do another one of these afterward, you better fucking start getting your attention span together.
Well, can you roll me a smoke?
Nope.
Please.
Double underhook suplex.
Yeah, no, it was good.
Come on, show some interest.
I am interested, man. Oh, here we go. See, this is the example. One thing I always liked about Alex is that he didn't always necessarily do the flashiest moves in the book, but he would do things that were just, that was solid. Like, he would just do a really solid-looking backdrop, or a really, crisp-looking power slam, and it would have just the right snap on it. And, he would always put the guy down completely safely, but it always had a lot of impact to it and looked really good.
Well, Alex always utilised his moveset every event.
That's one thing that he was really good at, was that consistency of having those go-to moves that you do, that you make sure that you've got... if you look at Alex's moveset, it's like neck breaker. Everyone can take that no matter what the size. Fucking running knee. Everyone can take that no matter what the size.
Yeah.
Twist of fate. Everyone can take that no matter what the size. Lion tamer. Most people can take that. Fucking Three Amigos. Most people can take that. Bulldog. Everyone can take it.
Yeah.
So you can see that there's the foresight on his part to make sure that in the ring he's consistent as a character. And I think that's one of the things Alex is best at. Probably one of the best people on the roster at keeping that kind of consistency going. Oh, nice classic David Goliath spot there. So, any thoughts about a singles match between yourself and Monet at this point in time yet? Or
no, me and Monet never had a singles match till 2015. Can you believe it? It was always in tag matches.
Oh, very nice.
I always loved the way that I took that. We never had a singles match till then. It was always tag matches. I probably would have wanted to do it, but we just didn't have time to fit it in. I do believe the next show is Dynamo versus Alex, and me versus Jack in the singles matches.
Hot tag. Jack's doing good.
I mean, who doesn't pop internally about coming in on a hot tag?
Yeah. And here he is getting his moment. Oh, he's doing a good job here.
No, he's fine.
That was a little bit. Yeah, I'm actually thinking he's holding his own, man. He's not doing too bad.
I mean, sometimes I feel like 2012 Jack Wallace is better than 2015, 2016 Jack Wallace.
It's strange. He's a very inconsistent wrestler. I love him to bits, but
nice little spot.
You see, like, I sort of see what you mean there. He kind of bailed on the landing a little bit, but then he followed it up with a really nice kip up.
And then a nice Hurricanrana.
Yeah, but he was always good at those Hurricanranas. Oh, fucking hell, dude. You must owe your money or something. And at this point, internally, you must be thrilled because this is just going really well.
Yeah, I'm thinking the match is going great so far.
It's
great
just
guns.
It's hitting all the right notes.
The camera work is doing shit, though.
Yeah.
Fucking Charlie.
You know what it looks like right now with the lights that we can see in the way and the shakiness of it? It looks like that weird footage that people have taken backstage at WWF pay-per-views and shit that you sometimes see on the DVDs.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it looks like. Only worse. Oh!
Yeah. Bit disappointing with the finish there, but that's alright. Keep going. They're working together.
I'm assuming that we're probably looking at, like, wrapping it up pretty soon.
It's probably not too far off. They're having their little moment here.
Oof, that was a little crazy.
You can talk a bit louder as well, by the way.
So I definitely think that you can see from the outset that I think Jack is comfortable in tag matches because he doesn't feel like he's just like got to go through this whole match on his own, and he can take breaks and stuff. I feel like he's the kind of person that's suited for that, sort of getting to have a break and tag your partner in and stuff. I always thought some of his best performances were in tag matches. Later on, when he started the Mr. 55 Live gimmick, of course, he started to shine as a single star. But at this stage, I think that being in a tag team where Monnet can kind of carry a big part of the load as well is going to allow Jack to improve and stuff while being in a tag team where all the focus isn't completely on him all the time.
Yeah.
I think that's a good spot for him at this point.
And Monet going to the top for the broken ankle leg drop.
Yeah, this was always a bit cringy the way that he landed it. Oh, and you can see there, it's just you're one bad day away from just...
I just used to love every time he was in midair, someone would scream, "Broken ankle!"
Oh my god.
Tagging me back in, and I'm going to just fucking lay waste to this little coon. This little fucking cunt. Monet's done a fucking good job selling so far in this match.
He definitely has. He always does. Oh, here
make
we go.
Alex fucking hold the arms.
Oh, goodness. Monet must be thrilled about this. That's sarcastic. I know he wasn't thrilled about it at all. Oh, Jesus Christ.
It's good fun, man. It's always good fun working with him. Except for the preemptive fucking bump to the big boot there.
Yeah,
this match is going a little long.
It probably is going a little long, but if it wraps up soon...
I think we need to get the heat back on Monet before he goes for the last
I think
hot tag.
if you pick up the pace a little bit more, she'll be sweet. But everything that is being hit is just really solid and really, a lot of it, especially from you and Alex, looks really, really credible and well executed.
Yeah. There's no rules. There's no rules.
Well, aren't you the one that said that you were going to have normal tag rules?
It's a proper tag match, but there's no rules with the rope break, that's for sure.
You just punched the fuck out of the little motherfucker, man.
He
genuinely looked shooken up. Like, he's looking the camera, it looked like he was like, oh god. Like,
right now, I think what I'm trying to do is coordinate the finish, like, okay, Alex, you...
Get something going, get some...
You take control here, but eventually go for that fucking hot tag, Luke.
Let's bring it home.
Here we go.
Three amigos, right in the center of the ring, perfectly done.
I love how later on Alex regretted adding that to his move list because it would fucking tire him out so much.
Yeah. But I always loved not just the consistency that he had with his moveset, but also the fact that he had that way of laying out matches where he would always use all of his moveset, but he would hit the Three Amigos at the appropriate time in the match, He wouldn't just randomly go through a phase where he would just hit him at the same time in every match. He'd always find a reason within the story of the match to do him at that particular point.
Yeah.
And having that ability to figure stuff like that out is not something that a lot of people are just gifted with like Alex is.
Yeah. So I've missed the elbow. Monet has the chair. Now we're starting to see some hardcore being utilised.
Oh. But again, it's not too much though. We've seen plenty of good wrestling. You know, we're not seeing it be overdone here. I don't think it always needs to go to 11 with the hardcore stuff, especially if the main event's going to be pretty hectic, which I imagine. Oh, that was quite full on.
Davan Crudenator. All right, now I've given them the I've given them the okay. We're going for the big hot tag. We're going for the final piece of the puzzle here. I'll let them know this is it. This is the moment.
And I think we're about to see the second... Oh, okay. Okay.
Alex has been tagged in, wasn't seen by the cameraman, doesn't matter. Jack has turned on Monet.
After one match, as a team.
Yep.
And after that big speech that I made about this being a good spot for Jack, and you agreed with me like it was a good point.
Yeah, it was. Waiting to see if you gonna...
And you knew that this was about to happen.
Yeah.
You fucking jerk.
Well, fuck, mate. Your memory should be better. This is the moment that Jack turned on Monet.
Oh, God, yeah. You never forget where you were when that happened. No, but that was a phenomenal match, and it makes me look forward to seeing you and Alex the next chapter of your storyline as well.
Yeah, for sure, man, for sure. And I get on the mic now and I talk about Jack's cowardice of turning on his partner just to give Aston Crude a title shot at Hostile Backyard Showdown, which I'm sure everyone was fucking rolling their eyes in excitement over.
Yeah, I'm sure they were.
Yeah.
I'm sure everyone was just
I'm
really...
sure everyone was like, oh, it's not his time to be champion or be in that position, Carl, you're getting a bit old now, mate, you don't deserve to have another main event run, no. Fuck you. Fuck
what?
all of you. I did deserve at least one more fucking chance to be in that spot. Why not? Why not? Who else is going to do it? Me. I should do it. I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
I didn't think there was anything wrong with it.
I still stand by
You know what? I probably would have, minded if you took yourself completely seriously 100% of the time and, actually sort of carried yourself as if you were better than everyone else, but you didn't. It was always tongue in cheek. You were always like, oh yeah, this is happening because I booked it and I'm the one who decides, so I can just do that for myself, and there was that like self-referential humor to it that you were like, you know what, yeah, I'm in charge, I'm going to give myself a nice little run here to cap off my career.
Yeah, but it was more about like I wanted to fucking do the right thing by Lowe. I wanted the build up for him to become the babyface champion to be done correctly, and I didn't see it happening that way as Jack as champion because
it wouldn't have meant the same.
He can't cut the promos necessary. Like for me, I thought it was the best thing that I could possibly do. So me versus Jack, Hostile Backyard Showdown. I don't care if anyone fucking roll their eyes, I think my time in that spot wasn't over just yet. It was soon, it was soon to be over, but just doesn't hurt to do it one last time. I mean, my second run with the belt only lasted 1 month, so I mean...
But you were always a credible opponent because you always stayed at that upper level. So it was definitely useful having somebody on the roster that carried that name value, if you could call it that. I know it's just backyard wrestling and we're sort of talking some hot air, but within our little universe, within our little bubble, your name had value to it, and so it meant something when somebody would win.
Yep.
And here we see Dark Eyes coming out for a well-deserved, I'm going to add, main event spot here at our first night show.
Can I give you a little bit of information about this one?
Please.
This match took place at 1 in the morning.
Jesus Christ.
We lost so much track of time because we couldn't get our fucking shit together. I knew at this point, I'm like, look, you look in the crowd, half those people that were there earlier, they're gone. We lost track of time so badly because we fucking couldn't keep organised, and I knew going forward, if we do more night shows, we got to start it a little bit earlier, and everyone's got to be on their fucking gear earlier.
Yeah,
but this was like the crux of
get
my
everyone
fucking
to put
issues with running shows, dude, was the fucking organisation from everyone else. People wouldn't get there until like 2 or 1:30, 2 p.m. We needed you to be here by 11. You know, I can't fucking do what I need to do unless you're all fucking here and ready to go when I ask you to go. So
and
that's half the fucking issue.
And you know, when you say that, I think that
this is the debut of the Hardcore Superstar.
Yeah, I love this gimmick. When you say that the logistics of organising the show are the hardest part, I think that applies to so many, you know, sort of creative areas. Like the producer for my television show and also the co-director. You know, a lot of people say the producer's the hardest job on the crew because the producer's job is to get everyone there, organise what time, organise what day, make sure everyone has transport, all of that kind of stuff, and then coordinate what everyone's doing on the day on set. And I think that, you know, it's not a very desirable job within the industry unless you're the kind of person that loves that shit. And so that's exactly the kind of thing that you're going through with these shows.
Exactly.
But would you say that it was worth it in the end when we're already seeing that this match is off to a
it's off to a fucking great start. And
that hip toss looked good.
I'm looking forward to talking about the Hardcore Superstar thing, but yeah, like looking back now, like I'm fine, okay? But like for a long time I had severe anxiety and problems because of time constraints and trying to get everything done in the small amount of time that I had. Back here, it didn't matter so much because we were already still having like a bit of a party or whatever. And I don't know why this match took so long to finally take place. Oh, goodness
me. There was just a knee strike for their watching.
This is like the two best of 2012 as far as I'm concerned, and they're main eventing Hardcore Hell, and you know, I would have loved to have seen a few more matches between Jacob and Ice.
You can see... Sorry, continue.
That's all I really wanted to say. I just would have liked to have seen a few more matches between the two of them because this felt like magic when I saw them two wrestle the first time.
So, and we can already see here that natural instinct from Jacob, like the way that he's working the arm, the way that he's working the leg, the psychology behind it, the actual, you know, the technique that he's actually physically using. It's all just phenomenal. And I think we're going to be marking out for the big hardcore spots later. So now would probably be a good time. Obviously, we know that the Hardcore Superstar character was an idea that you went to Jacob with and you suggested to him, and it was kind of your thing. And I think it's safe to assume that that was directly connected to your feeling like Jacob was just the top of the group in the originals. And... tell us about sort of why you felt that Jacob needed a bit of a fresh coat of paint, and why you went with this kind of 80s rocker gimmick in particular. The theme song "Mental Health" by Quiet Riot, a well-known song within, you know, the wrestling world, very old school kind of theme song. You know, a lot of thought. Like, detailed thought was put into this. The jacket that he would come out with, the swagger that he would carry himself with.
Yeah.
And it's not something that you necessarily do for everyone that comes in, you know?
No.
You'll often, you'll fling a few suggestions, but you won't really develop a three-dimensional character to fit a particular person like you did in this case. So take us through a bit of the background to that.
I saw the potential in him. He wrestled very well. He got the mechanics of having a fucking wrestling match very fucking quickly, and he impressed me more than all four of them. But I saw when those first 2 shows, he was just wearing cargo pants and a black shirt, and I was like, there needs to be a character there to accentuate what's already there. So I knew, after having talks with him, what do you like? He likes the same music as I do. He likes the hair metal. He likes the rock and roll. Alright. Hardcore superstar. The hardcore fucking superstar. Antilochus. It popped in my head, and I said, this is what I want to do. I want to put some fucking shades on you. I want you to take this fucking denim jacket with spikes in it that I've had in my fucking cupboard that I barely wear, and I gave him my jacket. He still has it. That's his jacket now. I gave him my jacket. I said, this is your jacket for your entrance. I need you to wear shades. You're the hardcore superstar. Take it and own it.
How did Jacob feel about the
He was
theme song?
fucking excited. The theme song came because I saw it, and Jacob, I'm sorry, I saw it on The Wrestler. The movie The Wrestler.
How did Jacob
when he walked out, when that dude walked out, when Mickey Rourke walked out to that theme, I'm like, that is a fucking cracking theme for a hardcore wrestler. And Bang Your Head, I mean, I just thought it was perfect, and I wanted him to have that theme song because I was like, it's perfect for the hardcore superstar. And I had this idea. I remember standing backstage with him before he walked out, and he was in his outfit. No one had seen him dressed that way, and he was like, are you sure this is going to be good? And I'm like, trust me, dude, go out there and own it. It will work. And as soon as he walked out, there was a big reaction, and he was fucking chuffed with it. But of course, the blowback afterward was that, oh, it doesn't suit him. Oh, it doesn't suit him. Oh, he shouldn't know. You know.
In whose opinion?
Chris.
Why am I not surprised that
Chris?
you said that?
You know, I'm sure there was a couple others maybe. Like, I don't know if Jack said it. I can't remember that, but I know Chris said it. You know, it doesn't suit him. Yes, it fucking does, because you give him a chance. It's the first time he's done it. Give him a fucking chance. Instead of him just walking out to fucking generic metal music, have him fucking have a gimmick with a fucking jacket and a pair of shades. It changes everything. Yes, fresh coat of paint, as you said earlier. And I was so happy with what the results were. And look, all that happened was he had an entrance. He was a character. When he got in the ring, yes, it was the same Antilochus as before. But at least he had something different with the entrance.
Suddenly it was contextualized.
Yeah.
Because we saw that during the entrance, we saw that this guy had a personality. So now when we watch him wrestle, we're empathizing with who he is.
Exactly.
It's simple. But as you were sort of laying all that stuff out, there was something that Antilochus just did in the match that literally just caused me to smile. It was so good.
Right.
Was, you know, he was in the corner and Ice was across in the other corner, and Jacob, like, gets down on one knee in a 3-point stance and just sits there for like 15 seconds, and he has just this real intense look of an athlete, you know, ready to pounce.
He knows it's his time, dude.
And then
he knows he's got to prove himself.
He just steamrolled into a shoulder tackle into Ice.
He knows what's at stake, dude.
It was just so intense. The facial expression, the speed, the ferocity of it. It was just a little detail, the kind of thing that I love.
Yeah.
I always talk about that.
Look at him go, dude. He knows so much is at stake because he knows I'm pushing him. It's the same thing with Lowe. They both knew that I was like, look, you're probably going to get heat from some of the guys because I'm pushing you, and they're probably going to think that you're sucking up to me or whatever, but, you know, go out there and fucking prove it to him. He knows he's against Ice. He knows how big of a situation that is when you're in there with someone like Dark Ice. Like Chris knew when he wrestled Chaos. They knew that they had to fucking step it up a bit.
Yeah, and we see the match here is starting to sort of develop a bit more. It's good seeing Antilochus sort of have control of the match for a bit, show off a bit of who he is, you know,
trying to get him
before
over
we
his
sort
face,
of start seeing, because we can see there that bump looked spectacular because of the way the board broke, and then Jacob selling it like it was really a, you know, very painful.
And we have to remember, Ice is very well on his way to being MVP of the year. What he did earlier with Chris, with Chaos, I mean, he sold it so well, it was believable.
Yeah. And look at him selling.
Match here,
look at him selling that knee.
Yeah.
Because, like, Antilochus had worked that knee earlier. I love seeing stuff like that. And now we're seeing that SPWS influence start to come in here. I think it's the right time for it, within the story of the match. So was this thin plywood, or was this... Oh, jeez.
What's that? I don't know what this was. I don't know where they got. I don't
plank
know
of
where
wood.
anyone got any wood from. I don't know where anything came from.
Probably around the
I
side.
rocked up to the
near
shows,
Noel's
and
Ute.
half the time there was just fucking shit there to be used for the shows. Like, I'd love to know how things came about. Like, how did that plank of wood fucking make it to the show? I don't know. But yeah, you know, I'm fucking pretty happy with this, and we have to really analyze this, DJ. It wasn't until too soon after this where Rad Hazard messages me saying, you guys need to have the World Hardcore Championship because you do hardcore better than anyone else. This is laying the fucking foundation for that. These matches, the match Chris had with Ice at the last show, the match that Chaos had with Chris at this show, this match here, I'm sure there's a couple more, obviously the Stairway to Hell match. There's a few others, you know, but these matches are setting the fucking foundation for the hardcore thing that we were doing, which ended up having the fucking dude in charge of the GBYWN give us the World Hardcore title. This is an important part of WZWA as far as it's concerned with us gaining fucking international respect.
Yeah.
These guys are all doing it. Chris, Ice, Chaos, Jacob... I'm sure there's a couple of others, but those guys really fucking did it. I mean, maybe a bit of Tim, bit of Low, they did some shit too, but for the most part, these four guys.
Yeah, and I mean, we're looking here, we know that these two would have pretty much a great match every time they get in the ring. Now we're seeing Ice start to take charge. This is going to be a test of Antilochus' mettle. You know, I'm definitely thinking that Jacob is more than up for the challenge. Was the crowd feeling, you know, do you remember them being into the match, being how late it was at night and all the other things like that?
I'm sure it was tough. But I'm sure alcohol was involved, so they were still fine. I'm sure after this match was over, the night fucking spiraled very quickly. I don't know if there was more drinking taking place after the show. I don't remember, but you know, I think that they were all still into it. I don't know how big of a gap there was between my match and this match, because I certainly don't recall wrestling after midnight. So I don't know if there was just a massive gap of us just fucking chin wagging or whatever. It looks like Ice is implementing fire in WZWA for the first time.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting. I don't really remember this spot. You can see Tim there. Referee Tim Cohn.
To be honest, he's had too many cones now.
Oh!
That's a dangerous spot to take.
You're going to have to describe that, because I'm actually a little taken aback by that. So that was really...
That was like, you know, that's a dangerous spot to take, because you're taking a spear and it's only a thin bit of wood. I mean, who knows if Ice would have fucking hit his head on the fucking
That's
metal
what
ring apron.
it basically looked like to
and
me.
that looked fucking brutal.
Those kendo sticks that Ryan made, he is always so dedicated to everything he does, as we've talked about many times before on the GBYWN Australia podcast.
Yeah.
We've talked many times before about how dedicated and focused Ryan is when it comes to something wrestling related.
Yeah.
And he decided he wanted to make all these kendo sticks. He did like a batch of 97 of them or something like that.
Why don't you just keep going till he got to 100?
I don't know.
I have one of those kendo sticks in my spare room. It lasted fucking 4 years.
They fucking hurt as well.
They fucking sucked, dude. They fucking sucked. But you know, he sat there and he fucking made them. Good on him.
Ooh, ouch! That would have hurt. What he just hit him with there. That wasn't a bit of plasterboard. That was hardy flex, and it's much tougher than plasterboard. It's actually difficult to break.
Yeah.
The fact that it's breaking when he's hitting him with it means that he's hitting pretty hard, and it probably hurts a fair bit.
Well, he's got some padding there with that curly hair. So, now I'm thinking about it, I want to explain to you why Ice has a title shot.
Okay, I'd love to hear that.
So, Antilochus won the championship in the inaugural backyard title match at Frostbite against Rex and Luke. So, Rex was eliminated first, and then Luke lost to Jacob. So that means naturally Luke's the number one contender because he was second out of the three. So they had the match at Road to Ruin. But at Road to Ruin, Ice beats Regan. So Ice now becomes the number three contender. Monet loses, so he slips down. Ice gets the opportunity at the title. That's it.
And
I'm considering things like that. I'm considering who's number one contender, who's number three contender.
sort of building your own understanding of, where all these people fit within the universe that you're trying to create.
Yeah.
Because, I think a lot of people forget that with wrestling is essentially a male soap opera mixed, centered around this fictional combat sport.
Yeah.
And it's a lot like a comic book universe with a cast of characters and locations and, histories and backstories.
Yeah.
And everything that you're doing as far as establishing who's your top tier, who's your middle tier, you know, who's going in what direction, that's all part of trying to realize that universe.
Yes, exactly. And it's so interesting seeing early days of WZWA and seeing people being slotted into different positions and seeing different alliances being formed. I really enjoy watching it. I really do. And, obviously I see a lot in Jacob. I mean, this is 2 shows in a row now he's main evented. This is 2 shows in a row now that the Backyard Championship has been the title that's been the focus of the main event. Like, the WZWA title hasn't been defended in the last 2 shows. It's just the Backyard title is being put in a position where it seems just as important as the WZWA title. I wanted to make the Backyard title seem pretty important.
Look out, and let's also talk about how phenomenal Ice is in this match. He's crushing it as well. He is just delivering another really great performance. He's selling that knee that got worked on.
He couldn't get the gorilla
He's
press
not
slam.
forgetting about
He's
it.
selling the knee.
It's affecting his ability in the ring. He's becoming more desperate to get a cover. He's becoming more reliant on the weapons and stuff to try to deal damage.
Can I just say, I love Ice. I love him. I miss this Ice.
Yeah.
I miss the mullet. I miss the coffee chill. I miss the fucking dart in his hand. I miss it.
Old school.
Now he looks like he is the head of administration at a hospital.
He's handsome, man.
No, I'm
He looks
happy
handsome.
for him. I just miss the real Bogan Dark Ice.
I think he's still Bogan at heart.
At heart.
Yeah. But both of these guys are just tearing it up, and
the selling's off the chain.
I don't remember ever really thinking too much into the UFC gloves and the wraps that Chaos and Ice would wear. But looking back on it now, I really like it for both of them.
Yeah.
And here I think the gloves are sort of, adding a little something special to all of the punches that Ice throws and really puts over that type of, character that he is.
Yeah. The character's getting over, man. He's not.
And now Jacob, here we go. Antilochus has the balls.
Rex showing off.
Here we go. Hang on, we saw a little alliance of this before. Oh, looks like he's causing a bit of a distraction. Is Chris going to smack his face? No.
Oh shit! Here comes Chaos. He's not. Fucking around,
Chaos
man.
just did a fantastic move. Oh, dude, what a good bump that was. Oh, dude.
Fucking gore. Fucking, so, we're doing
And
tit for tat here, bro.
All of these guys are just fantastic. The 4 best at this kind of hardcore stuff. Oh, man.
Chaos Theory, and then biggest win of
Fantastic.
Antilochus's career. Chaos with the tit for tat with Ice. So this
fantastic.
show, Ice cost him the match earlier. Chaos cost
Oh,
Ice
wow.
the match later. Rex and
Rex
Rush
looks a
Hour.
bit fucked up.
Rex fucking gets the biggest win of his career. Antilochus gets
Yeah.
the biggest win of his
You
career.
can really see with that show and everything playing out the way that it just did, that things are being put into motion, to go in certain directions.
Yeah.
That clothesline there that Chaos just did on the outside of the ring to an
Fucking
interfering
killed
Regan. The
Terrible
bump
camera
that
work,
was, the brutality of the impact, the bump, Rex's selling of it, that to me, combined with the physicality of the match they had earlier, that clothesline on the outside to me was like, that's the beginning of a rivalry that's going to last. Like,
Exactly.
just two guys that want to kick each other's ass all the time.
That's an ugly championship. But
Oh, fucking
shit,
hell.
he's gone. Oh, that's right.
Those
because he
gores
wants the
have looked
backyard
really
title,
fucking crisp. Have you noticed that all of his gores since he's been out here have been really brutal looking? Like,
Yeah.
he must have been in a grumpy mood or something like.
And that's the
Or
end
had a lot to
of the
drink.
show, DJ. That is
Yeah,
the
that
end
was-
of the show.
That was loads of fun.
2 hours, 10 minutes of Hardcore Hell 2012. I'm pretty happy.
Yeah, that was loads of fun, man.
I guess last time when we watched Road to Ruin, we kind of made decisions on who was the star of the show. We also decided what the match of the show was. Looking back, DJ, what match would you say was your favourite?
Well, I really enjoyed basically all of the matches, but my personal favourite would have to be Ryan versus Mykonos. I just thought that was a phenomenal match. I thought both of them delivered the kind of match that I, as a fan of theirs, wanted to see. I just thought that everything about it was really good. Both of them were just... You could tell that they were both on the same page. They were like, this is the story that we're telling. And they were cooperating, they were working together to produce this technical,
Masterpiece.
exhibition.
Yeah.
And so that's got to be my match of the show. And MVP of the show, it's difficult, really. But I'd probably have to go with Ice. Because he, in my opinion, made the biggest impact on this show as far as driving the story forward.
Yep. And you know what? I completely agree. Match of the show, Mykonos versus Ryan Tate in that submission match where Ryan beat Mykonos. It was a star-making moment for him. And I would say Ice, with the way that he used his facial expressions, the nuances with the handshake, and the beatdown of Chaos, and also obviously the match with Jacob. 2 shows in a row now, I am without a doubt saying that Ice is my favourite performer on both shows. And I really enjoyed revisiting Hardcore Hell 2012,
Yeah,
DJ.
this was the most fun I've had watching a yachting show in a long time, man.
Excellent. Any other final thoughts or feelings?
My final thoughts are, I think all the boys did a phenomenal job. I think it was a great way to, do our very first night show. I think that the logistical problems and how long it went on for no doubt caused a problem with people's attention spans in the later matches of the show. But, I think it turned out to be a fantastic show and everyone did a great job.
I think we upped the ante.
Yeah.
I think from Road to Ruin, it was I was a bit concerned about what have I got myself into? Will this be worth my time? Slightly. Back then, that's what I thought. But then when this show happened, I was really happy with how everything came together, and I'm fucking proud of Hardcore Hell 2012.
Yeah, it was definitely a really good show.
Thanks, DJ. And thank you, everyone else, for listening and watching here to the GBYWN Australia podcast, episode 94. We will back with episode 95. I don't know what we're going to cover, but we'll see what we're going to do. And we're going to probably do another one of these watch-alongs. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you enjoyed all the information. So, thank you again, DJ.
Thank you. It was a real pleasure. So I'm looking forward to the next edition.
Excellent, bro, and thank you everyone else. We'll see you next time.